Flame Lord Kyros. As I said before, Wayfinder may be releasing a Nightmare mode, and I'm here to help you prepare for it. And my boy Kyros got the fire on the blade, fire on the leg, and if you talk crazy, put that fire to your head. Yes, sir. I like that. They call him Flame Lord. But anyway, let's get into it. So Flame Lord, this Kyros build is mostly around AP and making them a little bit tanky. As you can see in the stats, 15,000 ability power, 5,000 physical defense, 5,000 magical defense, got some health. Not too much resilience. I wish I could have got more, but with the build path that I did, I couldn't really get too much without taking from everything else. For the accessories, went for the primordial ring, which gave me some max health, crit rate, ability power. Crit rating being very important. I don't know if y'all see that crit rate and stats creeping up. I'm trying to get it a little higher. Shadow Dancer's ring, ability power, defense, physical defense, and the Gloomborn Claw with ability power, crit rating, and max health. Tried to get as much crit rating in there as possible. And for the echoes, again, and for the max health ability power. For this one is more important. The Mythic Dread Legion Echo is important because it gives you 30% ability power, which is very strong. But this and this Rush Echo is not really too important. I just got it because I wanted fire abilities, and it looked cool when I'm using it. But yeah, again, straight ability power, magic defense, physical defense. So trying to make them tanky, as well as get some damage, and again that crit rating is important. Crit power not too much important because the damage is coming from the ability power, but it's still there. And I went for these for the armor set. Again, I don't got all of them, so these is destined to change. That's why I'm not really caring about them too much until I really get the full build down pat. But yeah, time for the important part of the build, the talents. Now on the talents, I had to choose. You got to do this pathing if you want to do a build similar to this. I had to do this pathing. You see, I purposely went through the ultimate generation. Alright? Purposely went through ultimate generation and tried to grab as much ability power as possible. This being the most important node. You see, I got no prime nodes. This is the prime node. I promise you. This right here. Prime node. This was very important too. This is prime node number 2. Get that. If you wanted to do a build similar, get this for the ultimate meter charge. And then the orb. Give me cooldown. Now, there was 3 things that I always believed in this game was trash. Ultimate generation, cooldown, and Senja. And boy was I wrong on 2 of them, because ultimate generation and cooldown is crazy. Turns out it actually affects how much cooldown you get from other sources and how much ultimate generation you get from other sources, and not the cooldown respectively. So I thought having a lot of cooldown means you're using ability, the timer will be lower or go down faster or whatever. But turns out what it really does is changes how fast the timer goes down when you have sources that give you cooldown. For example, his affinity, when you have maximum arcane fragments, status rate reduces the cooldown time of your other abilities by 20%. So having a lot of cooldown will change that 20% to something a lot higher, giving all of your other abilities a lot more cooldown than the 20%. Same thing with the ultimate generation. You get where I'm going? So the ultimate was able to recharge really quick. So I'll go over the affinity really quick. I went 25 in green, 7 in instinct, 5 in focus, and for the weapon, I went the blight just because the ability is really strong, even though I probably would never use it or very rarely use it, but when I do, it is a very strong ability. Same thing with the with these echoes. This ability actually does pretty good damage. This ability doesn't track well enough. It does a good damage if you could keep them in it, but it doesn't track well enough to keep that consistent damage. But it does hit I do know the Greed Lord um echo exists. If any of you could defeat the Greed Lord, he gives like a 600% of constant damage around the Wayfinder, which obviously would be really strong. I did beat him, but I want to do a build around it and not just throw it on just to show it off. I actually want to create something around that because 600% constant tick gotta be something really strong. But anyway, yeah. So that's what I went for the weapon, and then showed you the talents. And for the abilities, you gotta get the. Most people go level 3 on both of these anyway, but this is very important for that third hit finisher and that heal on a whenever you hit a target. It's too good. And then of course more cooldown. Remember what I said? It increases how much cooldown. So that cooldown reduction increased to 50%, and then it goes even higher because I have cooldown built in my talent tree. And I only got this because I really didn't need the damage on that, and the slow does come in handy for the little fire move. But I wish the level 3 was the level 1 or something like that, and this would have been a perfect build to get that increased damage on the ult. And again, the affinity 25, 5, 7, and I went, cool down, some more damage, and then some more defenses, which is very important in these harder difficulties. And this, remember how I told you that this was the most important? These two together creates uptime. Just like on the Wingrave build. I don't know if you watched that video, but the uptime is very important. You need that uptime. And this creates an almost infinite uptime. There's a few times where you might not get lucky, but for the most part you will have uptime with the cooldowns and everything. I know a lot of people go for the excess orbs and the empowering orbs, but this actually creates a higher max, right? Which means that I'm not gonna get this cooldown as much because you need to have maximum arcane fragments. And this is a higher max. I mean it might be that, you know, it just counts as maximum at 5 and you actually get the cooldown 3 times. But that's unlikely. Hopefully it is like that, and then maybe this build plus this will be really strong. But for me, the ultimate is too good. And you know what? Before we actually get into the mythic boss, I'm gonna show you why. I'm gonna just look at this. This dude is, look how fast the ult charge. And then on top of the heals and everything, and then if you did want to use these potions, I don't actually use them. Well, I'm not going to use them now. But plus these, it's crazy. And I know seeing that, it'll tempt you to make a full ultimate build, right? You'll just be like, let me get the ×2 on the ultimate generation. And then the other ×2 on the ultimate generation, figure out that pattern, and then do the cooldown. So basically what I did was opposite. So try to chase down as much cooldown as possible, get the ×2 on the ultimate generation, and get some of the ultimate generation on the path into towards the abilities. You probably have your ult up every 3 hits. But you would see what I felt is that you lose out on a lot of the survivability, which is the most important thing in these harder difficulties. You need to survive, and having this heal on this Savage Rake creates that survivability. So I just feel that is more important than the ult damage. Don't get me wrong, that ult damage could be crazy for a boss rush, but when characters like Nis is around, I think it'll be better to do that on someone like her. Hint, hint. This build coming soon. This build coming soon. But yeah, so we'll get into the hunt. You'll get to see it on one of the mythic bosses on heroic difficulty. I know a lot of people struggle, and I know these bosses difficult, but some people struggle on Dark Arbiter. As you can see, I'm still a little bit behind. Again, my Kyros is only 1 star. So just like Wingrave, as I get the stars up, the build just becomes stronger. You get more echo capacity to upgrade it more. Get more damage and more survivability, making it just overall better to the point that the build is completely broken. But as of right now, still really strong build, but I can only imagine the end result, especially when you max out the weapon as well. So, here we go. Get into Dark Arbiter. As you can see, he's doing damage, but not healing. Pick up the orbs. The uptime is so good. You can see it's very, very easy. And there it is. One of the mythic hunts. This was heroic difficulty. And now I'll show y'all the reward. See, throughout that fight, I didn't even really use anything else but spamming his abilities. Spamming his abilities and healing. There was that one time where I almost died, but he survived it. Just from the heals alone. And getting more resilience, because I think that was due to losing the resistance from the resilience. But obviously, as you upgrade your character and as you get more stars, you'll have more resistance, you have more defense, you have more health, and those moments will become a lot less likely. You will be a lot more survivable, making him ready for nightmare mode. A very decent pick. I think if I had to give him rating, he would definitely be, I would say, A++. On the verge of S, but not really S tier, just because there's that chance you could get one-shotted by some of the stronger bosses. So until you get that little tanky aspect up and able to get that resilience on top of his damage, I would say A++. Obviously that was my choice, but for damage checks and things like that, he still makes a very strong character, and you need that damage, the damage. That's what makes Kyros Kyros. So I think this build will definitely be A++, very strong. And with a team, he would still be A++. Nothing will really change because he is that bruiser, self-sustaining character. He doesn't really he doesn't really add anything to the team per se, other than his raw damage and who he is as a whole, just as if he was playing by himself. Which makes him that standalone character. He just you play for yourself. You have you and I got me. But yeah. So definitely A++ tier. That was Flame Lord Kyros. Next would be Nis. Have a good one.